Today we are in one of San Diego's best beach communities, and we're gonna dive into everything you need to know about living here. So if you're thinking about moving to Encinitas, you're gonna wanna stay tuned. We're diving into amenities like this beautiful beach. We're at Moonlight Beach right now. We're gonna dive into neighborhoods, show you some of the top places people are moving right here. We're gonna show you why people are moving here and everything in between. So let's get into it right now.
So right now we're in downtown Encinitas. This is kind of the heart of Encinitas. Some call it Old Encinitas. But we are about a 25-30 minute drive to downtown San Diego, kind of that airport area. Population of Encinitas is around 62,000 people. And this is where you're gonna find a lot of the really cool things that San Diego has to offer. A lot of the local spots. Encinitas Ale House behind us. You've got Union behind Chris walking backwards at the moment. A lot of really cool other spots. Hanson Surfboards has been here forever. You've got coffee shops. Phil's is a chain, but there's a bunch of local spots down that way. A lot of really great pizza places. You got Urban, you've got Blue Ribbon, you've got taco spots, you got taco stand right here, and just a lot of really other cool spots down here in downtown Encinitas. Chris already showed you one beach, but we're gonna show you a couple more here in a little bit. Actually, we're walking kind of towards Swami's, which is one of the most popular beaches, big surf break there, and the Self-Realization Center is over there as well. So if you're into that, check it out as well. And some of our favorite spots, my wife and I love Beer Garden, which is a little bit further north here. You have some really cool breakfast spots too that have been here forever. You have Honey's, which is right here on the Coast Highway. You have the Potato Shack, which is just over behind this building here. So there's some really, really cool options in this down this whole stretch of Encinitas. So if you're living in Encinitas, this is where you're coming for date nights. This is where you're coming for your weekend restaurant spots. And even for some of your shopping, there's not a ton of shopping here. We'll show you some areas where there's a little bit more of those types of things, but you do have Hanson's, which has been here forever. Really cool surf shop, definitely worth checking out. They've got their own gear. They've got a ton of other surf gear. And then there's a lot of like boutiques that have a lot of similar things to that here as well.
Neighborhood number one is one of the most expensive street right here in Encinitas. And it's in one of the neighborhoods called Leucadia. We're right on the coast. This is Neptune Avenue. And on this side is bluff, beautiful views. You have the ocean right behind all these houses right here. On this side, that's when you start getting into Leucadia, which we're gonna show you a few spots over there as well. But on here is some of the, if not the only oceanfront property in a lot of these coastal cities where you have these big, beautiful bluff top views. You got access to, one other thing is two of the beaches. And we're gonna show you the beach right here, but where we started was Moonlight Beach. That's like the most popular, that's the easiest to get to beach. But if you're living here, you're gonna likely be exploring these other beaches that we're gonna show you here in a sec, because Moonlight, yeah, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's easy, parking up top, but it's also gonna get a little bit more busy. We lucked out today, the spot we parked in today, since there's not much surf out in the water, there was a ton of parking here. But that's one thing about Encinitas is the beach access. There's really not a ton of great beach access. So if you're going to the beach, if you're moving here, yeah, you're gonna find your beaches, you're gonna find your spots, but it's gonna be a little more difficult than spots, let's say like Carlsbad. So we're at the stairways of one of the beach accesses. This is Grandview, a little blown out today, so the surf's not the best. We got the beach rocks down there. We have, I don't know, a few hundred stairs going down here. So not the best. If you got your kids coming down this beach, it's fun to surf. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot less people up here, but this is just like one of the few beaches that do have access like this. Now you go north to Carlsbad, you got Ponto. You go south, that's Moonlight. You go even further south, you're into Cardiff. So there's a ton of other beaches, but this is like the bulk of what you're gonna find besides that kind of Moonlight area.
Now we're in one of the other downtown areas. We are in Leucadia. We'll do a whole vlog on that for you soon. We were just on Neptune Avenue, which was one of the most expensive streets here in Encinitas, but there's a ton of other housing in Leucadia, east of the Coast Highway here, which we're right on here. And you can see they're doing a whole ton of work down here in Leucadia. So Leucadia has always been known for wanting to keep it funky. Keep Leucadia funky has been a saying forever. It's a little bit less than funky these days because they have put in a ton of infrastructure. You're looking at new buildings on our right here, a ton of upgrades to the roads, adding new bike lanes, all of that stuff. And we are going to show you a couple of neighborhoods that are a little bit more affordable, really popular here in Encinitas. But just wanted to show you this spot because it is one of the kind of other downtown areas. There's a whole bunch of good restaurants. There is a winery, a lot of spots to grab a drink, live music. This is just the other kind of hot spot here in Encinitas.
One of the other big benefits of moving right here to Encinitas is the convenience. Right now we're in the Encinitas Ranch Town Center, which gives you a little hint to the next neighborhood we're gonna cover, one of the more popular neighborhoods right here in Encinitas. But the convenience factor here is not comparable to a lot of other cities. Right where we are, There's a Target over here. There's all kinds of not shops. There's like big box stores and Dick's Sporting Goods and Best Buys and Barnes & Noble and all those kind of stores in here. You're gonna find a few little chain restaurants like a Jersey Mike's. I just ate at Urbane, got some to go last night. So, you know, some good spots. If you want that local, that's where we were earlier. There's a little secret local spots here and there that you're gonna find. But if you guys wanna know where those are and maybe some other neighborhoods around here that might work, be sure to reach out. Let's start that conversation. You can call, text, or email, and we can point you in the right direction. But not only this center, going up and down El Camino Real, there is countless other shopping centers where you're gonna find grocery stores. You're gonna find your Trader Joe's and your Vons and your Sprouts stores. You're gonna find a bunch of medical facilities, dentists, doctors, kind of anything you need, a few big medical buildings. And then we're gonna show you at the kind of towards the end of this video, another big amenity that's medical related, that's right here in Encinitas as well. You're gonna find kind of everything you need. Across the street from here is the Home Depot. You have the Forum shops over there, which is a little bit more higher end. If you got Apple products, there's the Apple store over there, a few more restaurants and stuff. So just kind of anything and everything you need right here. And from anywhere that we're covering today, you're probably like max, if you're like super far out in the Livenhain, you're probably like 15 minutes from here. From the coast, even though we had some traffic coming up here, you're like probably 10 minutes or so. So like Lucadia and stuff, you could hit this pretty quick too. And it's nice. I was just chatting with my aunt who is living in Georgia now, and they're living in like a small town, and the closest like big shopping center is 25 minutes away. If you want to go to Costco, it's, I think she said 45 to an hour away. Costco here, there's no Costco, that's one thing. There's no Costco right here. Closest one's probably up in Carlsbad. It's about 14, 15 minutes away. So other than that, there's pretty much everything you need right here in this little center, up and down El Camino Real and kind of this little area of Encinitas. Second neighborhood is one of the more popular neighborhoods right here in Encinitas. It's one of the newer master plan communities. When I'm saying newer, it's like early 2000s, so it's not brand new. There's a brand new one right across the way, but hit us up if you guys want to know what that one is. A little bit smaller homes. There's actually some resale going in right now, but we're in Encinitas Ranch and we're heading towards the golf courses right in front of us, Encinitas Ranch Golf Course. So up here in Encinitas Ranch, houses, you're gonna find a little bit bigger footprints, and depending on your property, as with any neighborhood, is gonna give you, sometimes you're gonna have a nice big neighborhood, I mean a big yard, potentially pool size. Our friends live right down the road. Their yard's big enough for a pool. They have a fire pit. They have like a little built-in barbecue area. Some of them are gonna be a little bit smaller. Some of them up here are gonna have ocean views. Some are gonna have no views. So some of those interior ones, when you get to kind of like the central areas of Encinitas Ranch, that's where you're gonna find a little bit smaller lots. But a lot of people like it. There's not a ton of turnover as far as, you know, it's not a huge master plan community, but you will find at least a few on at all points of the year.
All the schools here in Encinitas are really highly rated, and it's a big draw for why people like to move to Encinitas.
And if you like golf, of course, right here, we played it a bunch of times. How many times have you been out here?
A million.
A million times. Fun course. It's a nice open course, so you have a little bit of give. Yeah. I'm not a great golfer, but I've had my best round out here. I think it was the second time I shot under 100. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think I only lost like 1 or 2 balls that day.
Because you can play from the other fairway, so it's helpful.
Yeah, it's very helpful, but super fun. The actual clubhouse is on the other side over here. So even if you're not living in this area, go hit the clubhouse. It's a public course, so get out here and enjoy gorgeous ocean views. Dude, it's a beautiful day right here in Encinitas. Gorgeous. It's like just at the end of May right now, and it was cloudy this morning, which typically you get a lot of times in May and June, and then it cleared up, and I mean,
perfect.
Bluebird skies, perfect. I don't know, what's the temp?
72.
Whatever it is, it's perfect. So anyways, Encinitas Ranch, and we're gonna cover one other area, one other neighborhood that's the most affordable neighborhood, so stay tuned for that.
So now we're at one of the top hospitals here in San Diego County, actually voted one of the top 100 hospitals in the country. Here's Scripps Encinitas. As you can tell, they're doing a ton of construction behind us. It's going from somewhat of a smaller hospital to a pretty large hospital here in Encinitas. This is where both of our kids were born, Chris's kids were born. Huge bonus to have here in Encinitas. And this is just one of many medical spots here in Encinitas too. Chris mentioned the downtown community real. There's a lot of dentists, medical centers. That's where our kids go to the doctor. So there's a lot of medical right here in town, which with some of the other towns around us here, Carlsbad, Solana Beach, they don't have as much of this infrastructure as we do here. Another huge bonus, if you have kids, the Rady Children's Hospital is not that far from all of these towns we talk about here in San Diego, just down the freeway a little bit. And it is a huge reason to live here with kids in San Diego.
Now we're in Village Park, which is the most affordable area in Encinitas. And there's also a ton of choices up here. So you have choices of single family homes, not just this area, there's other areas too. And then on the other side, and just kind of spread out through this area, you have a bunch of townhomes and condos. And the cool thing about up here, like, yeah, they're townhomes, they're condos, but they're not like that style, downtown style where you're living apartment style. They're more like your own little house. So a lot of them have their own 2-car garages. Some have 1-car garages. You're gonna find they have little, not necessarily big yards, but a decent outdoor space for a townhome. And up here, like I said, most affordable. You're a little further east here in Encinitas, but one of the beautiful things, it's all within HOA. So if you're in a condo, it's like 2 HOAs. If you're on the houses, it's just 1. But you get access to all these green belts out here, which is a huge amenity. When they built all this in like the 70s and 80s, they left a little bit of breathing room. You could imagine like a new construction community like Fox Point, which we mentioned earlier over in Encinitas. It's like they took up mostly all the space. Actually, you know what? They did leave a little bit of farmland, but I think they needed that for part of it. But here, there's just a lot. You have a ton of green belts. With each little HOA too, you're gonna have access to a pool. You're gonna have access to like a playground. Some have tennis courts, pickleball courts, wall ball, basketball courts, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's relatively affordable for even a HOA. It's not like crazy expensive as well. You're not gonna find Mellows up here. So it's just a cool area. And there's other areas within Village Park too that aren't like technically Village Park, but in this section where you're like a quick shot down to like the convenient area with the shopping and the Trader Joe's and the Sprouts and all the stores that you need down there. And you're also like not too far from the beaches. You're just tucked away here. It's an awesome spot and one of the most affordable areas right here in Encinitas. So right now we're at the Encinitas Community Park, and Cassie just mentioned before we hopped on, but wouldn't be a living in San Diego video without helicopters, planes,
Lawnmower today.
We find the noise, guys, so.
Or the noise finds us.
The noise finds us, yeah. Couldn't let it go clean today, but Encinitas Community Park is one of the bigger parks here in Encinitas, and it's got a ton of stuff. Ton of open grass. They got these fields closed down right now, but usually it's soccer and ultimate frisbee going on, that kind of thing. Right behind us back here is probably one of the best skate parks in North County. Huge skate park. When my boy was starting to skate, just coming out here. It's on a Friday at 1. It's not too busy right now, so there are better times to get out here. But they have a huge playground they recently, over the past few years, covered it up so it's not cranking hot. And then you'll see like camps during summertime go on out here, ball fields over there. There was talk, I don't know where they are on the talk right now, but talks of potentially throwing in some pickleball courts over here. So we shall see. As pickleball.
Dog park.
Oh, dog
around
park.
the corner too.
Yeah, and it's separated into like small dogs, large dogs, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, there's a bunch of different parks around here, and this being the biggest, but you have Leucadia Oaks Park, or what's the one over? It's not Leucadia Oaks. We filmed at Leucadia Oaks for our pros and cons, but Olympus Park, yeah.
It's a popular one.
Ken will pop in some B-roll of that. That's an awesome park. That's one of the brand new parks that are right here in Encinitas, and they're talking about building some more. So anyways, plenty of ways to get outdoors. There's a few little hikes here and there. Down to the south, you have San Alejo Lagoon, where there's a ton of hiking and stuff around there, trails and whatnot. Not like mountain hikes, and then a few other little hidden spots. So, plenty of areas to get out and enjoy the sunshine here in Encinitas.
So we covered a couple of neighborhoods today, but there are a ton of different spots here in Encinitas. So if you are thinking about moving out this way, definitely get in touch. Let's get that conversation started. Jump on a Zoom call, chat about your needs, what you're looking for, any questions you might have. But you gotta start the conversation. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We've got your back when moving here to San Diego.
And if you like Encinitas, but you want a few more options, check out the vlog popping up right now where we covered Cardiff, which is actually connected to Encinitas, but you get that beach vibe, a few different styles over there. There's actually an entire pickleball facility there too. So anyways, go check that out, and we'll catch you next time.